It's time for the annual takeover at the Camp Tecumseh Disc Golf Course in Pottstown, New Jersey. And to see who will be leading us today in the takeover, stay tuned as Disc Golf Monthly starts now. Hello and welcome to this month's edition of Disc Golf Monthly, as we're in Pottstown, New Jersey for the 2018 Tecumseh Takeover. It's a clear and pleasant afternoon with sunny skies and no wind, the perfect weather for disc golf. We'll be covering the Men's Open second round today, and we'll be breaking up the coverage over two shows. The course today has two added baskets to make the total layout 20 holes. For this month's show, we'll be featuring baskets 1 through 10. And the first round cards are now in, so let's take a look at who we'll be covering for the second round. Leading in first place, from Doylestown, PA, we have Bradley Good, shooting a 57. And in second place, we have Mike Carmen from Ottsville, PA, shooting a 60. And third place, we have Justin Choka, shooting a 62, and he's from Newtown, New Jersey. And in fourth place, rounding out the group, we have Stephen Curry from New Britain, PA, shooting a 63. Well, it looks like we have three newcomers to the show, with Mike Carmen being the only familiar player in the group. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be at the start of round 2. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
Hundred American youth run away from their homes every day. The National Runaway Switchboard is here to help. 1-800-RUNAWAY. If you are a runaway, thinking about running away from home, or a parent or guardian concerned about issues facing your child, call us 24 hours a day. 1-800-RUNAWAY. In times of crisis, hope is just a phone call away. 1-800-RUNAWAY.
Every time an adult gives up on our kids, every time we surrender to the belief that their future is out of our hands, another child is left behind. I'm General Colin Powell, and I don't believe in giving up. That's why I'm asking you to join America's Promise. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can do something important. Pull your weight.
And we're back for the start of the 2018 Tecumseh Takeover. We have Bradley Good in the lead with 3 strokes with the 57. Right behind him is Mike Carmen with a 60. Justin Choka has a 62. And Stephen Curry has a 63. We're going to be starting off on basket 1. This is a par 3, 229 feet. This is very short. As you can see, it's a layout isn't very long here, but it's very technical. You have to start off, keep it straight, and end with a... Bradley gets a little too much turn on that. You have to keep it straight, just have it hyzer out. The basket sits on top of a mound, so it's slightly elevated. Mike Carmen gets a much better drive. Doesn't get as much turn, and you can see that mound doesn't get as much turn as Bradley did off his drive. Here's Justin Choka. Justin also managed that very well. And he's right at the edge of that mound. Here's Stephen Curry, a new face on Disc Golf Monthly. He gets a little bit of early release. Stephen does his best to get out of that. And he tries to go with a jump putt. He sails over the basket. He's on the other side of the mound. Here's Bradley with his approach shot. He's going to try and make a little bit of a run at that. He goes over the mound as well. Here's Steven putting back to the basket for bogey. And he makes it. Not the best way to start off the round. There's Bradley playing basket back to the basket as well, trying to save par. It's like Mike's going to pick up a stroke on him here. Because of relatively, he's the closest to the basket out of the group. Here's Justin going for 2. And Justin Choka gets his first birdie of the round. And if Mike can make this, he'll pick up a stroke and be 2 strokes behind Bradley. And he makes the birdie. So now we have a 2-stroke difference as Mike and Justin record birdies. And we're moving on to basket 2. This is a par 3, 317 feet. This is another very tight, laid out hole. There's a creek that you have to contend with. It is OB if you land in the water. And Mike was looking at the perfect drive, just got a little too high, got caught up in them trees that are hanging overhead. And Justin keeps it down, and he does exactly what Mike was trying to do. Bradley's going with a sidearm for this. This is kind of a risk reward on this. Looks like this is going to work for him, save for the fact that it turns too soon. He got a lucky kick off that tree. He was going to turn off into that rough. That was a very tricky shot. If he hadn't let go at the right time, would have hit that tree right in front of the fairway. Here's Steven.
Get under it. Go. Round it.
And Steven goes a little beyond the basket, but definitely made up for that issue we had on the previous hole off his drive. Here's Bradley. Looking to get his first 2 of the round, and he kicks off a tree. Somehow as he let go of the disc, he just kicked right off that tree.
What? Oh my God.
And he can't even save a bogey with that putt. Very unfortunate. So with this, if Mike makes his putt, we're going to have a tie for first place at a 65. And Mike records a par, so now we have a tie at first place for the 65. We're moving on to basket 3. This is a par 3, 273 feet. We're leading off with Justin. This is an extremely tight hole.
Great shot.
Very sidearm friendly for a right-hand thrower. Very narrow gap you see with that thick tree off to the left and that very thin tree just off the tee off to the right.
Come on. Skip, man. All right. Get off. So close to perfection.
Here's Justin. Gonna go trying for back-to-back 2s, and he makes it.
Corner pocket.
Justin had been 1 stroke behind Mike and Bradley. Bradley saves par with that putt. Mike Carmen takes the lead all to himself now with that birdie. And Bradley climbs out for a tie for second place with Justin as Justin gets that birdie. Now Mike Carmen has first place all to himself. As we move on to basket 4, it's a par 4, 428 feet. This is a very challenging hole. The fairway starts off, it's very straight. But it's this favors a really great placement shot for a turnover shot or a sidearm shot. Now you got to play uphill.
Right off the stump. Get off.
So you might go with a sidearm shot. Not used to seeing Mike throw sidearm shots. Steven gets a little too much turn. It kicks off that tree early. He doesn't get much penetration down the fairway.
You totally talked me. Talked you out of it? Yeah, because you were like...
Bradley's in a tough spot now. He's going to try and cheat through that gap, which is almost impossible. Off to the left, just as you go up the hill, you see that's the gap that they were looking to get to off their drive. Everybody's taking their chances trying to get through this rough area, which is really thick. There's no line to the basket anywhere. Mike tries another sidearm, gets a little too high, gets knocked down kind of early. So Justin's playing from his second shot. He got enough penetration down that fairway where he just sends it up. So he's set up for a 3 now from where he is. And Steven was going for birdie. He would just deny it, unfortunately. Just didn't have enough force on the chains to stay in the basket. It bounced off the chains. But Bradley he saves par with that putt. That was an amazing putt. So Bradley's still trailing as Justin ties for the lead now with that birdie. That's Justin's 4th of the round. Moving on to basket 5, it's a par 3, 460 feet. This is a downhill shot. The fairway winds around to the right. This is a tough hole because obviously, as you can see, you're playing blind as you get down the fairway. It's hard to see just when you need your disc to turn at the right time to stay on the fairway. And Mike gets a little too much turn. He kicks off on those trees early.
Get around. Oh, yeah. Now get around there.
And Steven gets a little too much, a little further penetration. It would look like it was looking to get, but he didn't hit anything, and he's on the ground floor now, so he has a good shot at a 3 from where he is. Bradley takes much the same route, but he gets knocked down early as he goes off the fairway. And again, he's just trying to get lucky going through all the, where there's no line to the basket. They're just trying to get through where they can. Justin turns over a sidearm shot. Looks like that got him really close to the basket, but not close enough, obviously. Tries a jump putt to get into the basket. Bradley putting for bogey.
Yeah, buddy.
His putting game is really on fire right now. Back-to-back putts. Just over the 10-meter mark. For Bradley, his putting game's really keeping it in this right now. And Mike Harmon takes the lead back all to himself again with that par, as Justin can only manage a bogey. We're moving on to basket 6. This is a par 3, 234 feet. So we're going back up the hill again. Mike's going with a backhand shot.
No. Dude, I was actually like thinking about it before you threw it.
This is a tough hole because of that tree you see right in front of you.
All I think about on this
Very difficult to hold the line and avoid that tree. If you can get past that tree and have it just hyzer out, you'll be good. But it's, as you can see, players having a lot of difficulty.
Hit that tree and kick left. And hydraulic.
Bradley going with another sidearm shot. Boy, he just went through the most dangerous area he could have took with that sidearm, but it worked for him. He skipped right up to the basket as Mike, he makes his 2. So with that, Mike will be extending his lead. With that birdie, Bradley is tied for second now with Justin. As we move on to basket 7, it's a par 5, 755 feet. So this is one of the only par 5 hole on the course. This is one where it's just right to the basket. You have to keep it as straight as possible. To get off the rough is really difficult. The further off the rough you are, the harder it is to get back on the fairway. There's really no line to even get back on the fairway should you go off the fairway here. So looks as though most players so far have got enough penetration to get pretty far down the fairway. Here's Justin. But how far that disc fares off the fairway as it gets down there remains to be seen. Again, the further off the fairway you are, the harder it is to get a good line to the basket. Steven, the only one to get caught with an early tree. He makes a nice recovery with that turnover sidearm shot. Bradley's way off the fairway, but he threads that through perfectly. He may be on his way to a birdie with that recovery shot. Here's Mike with his second. Mike hangs on a little too long and it kicks off that tree. And that was looking really good to start. Here's Mike. He's going with another sidearm shot. Turns that over. Let's see if it bends back for him here. It gets close to the basket. We'll have to see. It's pretty far down there still. Justin. He's really deep in the rough here. He kicks off some vegetation. We'll have to see if that kept him from getting close to the basket. Here's Bradley with his third throw. Goes with the turnover shot. And there we see the flag for the basket. Looks like that got him pretty close. He may have a look at a birdie from there. Mike. So it looks like Mike's done all he can to have his next shot go in the basket. He's laying right underneath it. Here's Steven shooting for par. He's got a long run here. And it's just a little too tall. Kicks off the top of the basket. Bradley's going for birdie. And he makes it. So Bradley's one stroke behind Mike now as Mike can only manage a par. As we move on to basket 8, this is a par 4. Sorry, it's a par 3. 327 feet. There's Bradley's drive. He's going again with a sidearm shot. He gets enough turn off that. The danger here with your shot is you get close to the basket. As you go up the hill, there's heavy rough. So you want to be careful where your drive lands, because if it turns too much, or with a backhand shot or the sidearm shot, if you get too much fade, you could end up in heavy rough. And it looks as though Justin may be flirting with that heavy rough. Steven with his drive. Good with a sidearm. He keeps that low. Looks like that's going to come in very nicely for him.
That was smooth.
Mike comes up a little short. Gonna make a little run at it here. And Justin does go into that rough. He's gonna have to try and throw over that, and he does. Drops right by the basket. That's a good out for him. Here's Bradley. A very long putt for a 2. He can get tied up if he makes it. And he does. And Bradley's putting game is really making a difference here. And so with that, we have a tie for first place again between Bradley and Mike. With Bradley getting that fantastic birdie. Moving on to basket 9. We have a par 4, 523 feet. So we have a battle going back and forth here for first place between Bradley and Mike. Bradley has the box again. He gets no turnover on that shot at all. This is going to fade out on him. It's going to go up the hill. Does not look at all like he was trying to do. Looks like he was trying to get that to turn over a bit and it just didn't do it. Here's Steven. Steven doesn't get much turn either. That one was completely straight. Here's Mike. Mike just puts it straight out there. It's going to fade out too. So I have to play down the hill a little bit. Here's Justin with his drive. And Justin gets the turnover that they look like the other greets were looking for. That put in really great placement. He'll just have to play over a little hedgerow and get to the basket. He should be able to get his 3 from there. Like going with a turnover sidearm shot. That's going to put him in the rough. He faded out. Steven comes up a little short. Here's Justin with his second shot. He's going to play over that growth you see in front of you. And he manages that. Let's see where that comes down for him. It just comes up a little short and fades out. Mike's got to play out of that rough. And he almost made the putt. That was something. Here's Steven shooting for a birdie. It just kicks off the rim and rolls away. Bradley can pick up a birdie here, and he does. So with that, Bradley takes, with that birdie, back-to-back birdies for Bradley. He has 1 straight lead over Mike Harmon now. And our last hole of the day is basket 10. It's a par 3, 317 feet. So that was Bradley's 4th birdie of the round. It was 4 straight birdies for Bradley. He's really picking it up. It shows. Here's Steve on a fantastic drive.
Is that Joe? Yeah, I thought it would go left a little bit.
This is the most birdie hole.
Whoa, dude. Good redirection.
Mike threads that perfectly.
Wow.
Gets a good skip right to the basket.
Never.
It's going to put a little bit of pressure on Bradley. Looks like Mike's closer than Bradley's disc landed. There's Justin.
Big skip.
With a big skip, he should be really close to the basket as well. So we could have a star frame to finish today's coverage. Here's Steven, he's the furthest out. Looks to be about a good 40 feet. But that doesn't stop him from making that birdie. And that's his second birdie of the day. Here's Justin. And Justin climbs over the rim and makes the putt for another 2. And Bradley makes it look easy. Here's Mike finishing up that awesome drive. And he drops it in for a 2. So that's an exciting finish to our front 9 of the 2018 Tecumseh Takeover. We're going to take a quick break and wrap it up. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Hi, I'm Brian Schwarberger, and you're watching Disc Golf Monthly, the show that brings you one step closer to the sport of disc golf.
No matter me, are you?
I am. If you didn't save me some of those chips.
I did.
I cannot believe you two.
Patience.
You forgot the dip.
Use it before you lose it. Ooh, that was close. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We finally bought a place.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
At the end of the month, we have nothing left to save. How is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Well, that was an incredible front 9 action from the lead card. Bradley struggled early and lost the lead to Mike Harmon, but Bradley paddled back with some amazing putts to get a one-stroke lead, and he held on to it by the end of hole 10. Well, that's all the time we have for this month's show. To see if Bradley can hold on to that one-stroke lead, join us next month for another edition of Disc Golf Monthly, the show that takes you one step closer to the sport of disc golf.